But for now, we're going to focus on mountain biking. Now, Craig Wapnick has joined us here in the studio, and he's the race organizer for the Old Mutual Joburg 2C. 910 kilometers off-road journey. That sounds like something that would take me years to complete. Craig, thank you very much for joining us here on SAFM. Great to have you in studio.
Good to be with you, Natalie. Thanks a lot. Yeah, it does take me years. We just finished the dry run 3 weeks ago, and it felt like it was years. But I'm not as strong and fit as some of the guys that are coming from all over the world to ride it. So I think they're in for a real treat. And I think when you break it up of 30 Ks per water point, it seems a lot shorter.
Fourth edition of it, starting on 26th of April. Lessons learned from the past few editions?
I work with some great individuals, so we're always bouncing off ideas. So I think it's an ongoing learning curve. The guys that I work with, like Farmer Glenn from Sani to Sea fame and Gary Green from Burke and Bush fame, and all our wives and stuff, we're always searching for sort of improvements. I don't think we're a long way from perfect, because I think things change all the time. But when you take in 800 riders across 900 Ks with a support crew of 200 people, you get nervous. But you have to be nervous, because you've got to figure out a way of looking after these guests, which are your riders. So I think we're learning all the time, and I think we never stop learning.
And a lot of riders involved as well, 700 involved. And also, great to hear that there's international interest as well in the race.
That's been our biggest sort of most exciting thing this year, is how many international riders. We've got 110 from 20 countries that are joining us, from Russia even. And for us, we've gone to Google Earth Translate already to try and get some sort of phrases to make these guys feel welcome and stuff. But it's not an easy thing to grasp, because we don't want to change anything. Our first and foremost, our main customers or riders are South Africans. So we don't want to become this sort of thing where we change. There's nothing different really, but we do get excited when people from around the world who love mountain biking start to say, well, okay, this is a proper mountain biking ride, and we want to come and share and see South Africa.
So a ride from Heidelberg to Scottburgh, and that's obviously all the way down on the KZN coast. If you didn't know, Heidelberg here up in Johannesburg, all the way down to Scottburgh. How do you train for something like this?
Well, I think you're asking the wrong person. I think you should be asking Kevin Evans or someone. But I just ride my bike. If I was someone, I just ride my bike a lot. But I think what's happened in the sport is it's booming, and it's gone so big so quickly that I think what happens is guys, they really want to enjoy it, and they train hard, and it's become almost like a bit of a purpose for them in life. It's weird. It's like a bit of a
kind of like the Comrades Marathon.
Correct. It's not as hard as the Comrades. I mean, people think, oh wow, you do the epic, you do Joburg to see, geez, you're an extreme athlete. You are if you race it, and you are if you quite in the top end. But if you just ride your bike a lot and you love riding, you can make it. You got to train, because otherwise you won't enjoy it. But there's so many different levels of riders in our event that I think basically it's just like fitness isn't such a big thing, as opposed to just wanting to be out there seeing South Africa on your bike.
You're listening to SAFM Sports Special. I'm joined in studio by Craig Wapnick, who's the race organizer for the Old Mutual Joburg 2C. It is a 9-day mountain bike race. Now, in terms of the route, tell us a little bit more about the route for people who've never heard of this before.
Well, the best thing about it is the route. We've got this little saying that the route is king. We get other sponsors like M3TC to help us fund development and people and skills along the route to help us build trail. Our dream, obviously, is to have single track trail from Heidelberg basically to the coast. And every year we piece together more exciting sections. We don't change our race villages so that we can work with these communities all the time. What we do is we try and improve sections. We call them sections of happiness, where you give a rider a long section of sand road, say, and then they must go off into something exciting. And that excitement is what keeps guys coming back for more. So I think we've been very lucky that a lot of the route over the Sani to Sea sort of stages and Berg and Bush stages have been developed already. And then it was up to us to sort of piece this journey together. And I mean, out of 900 Ks, you've got about 99% off-road. There's about 10 Ks of tar the whole journey.
Oh, that's incredible. So lots to look forward to for the riders. In terms of the spectators, people who might want to either follow it maybe on social media or possibly maybe even come and have a look, what can they do about that?
Yeah, look, it's not a very spectator-friendly event. Just given the size of the field that we've got to accommodate at the race villages, it's quite hard to accommodate more people there. So it's it is on TV every single night on SuperSport, so we're quite lucky in that regard. So we're going to be showing that off. It's also, in terms of tweeting, you can, I think it's @joburg2c_journo, which is going to be full of tweets and updates from the race. A lot of social media and Facebook nowadays. I think it's sort of quite common. Some of my farmer colleagues don't quite understand social media just too much yet, but they get in there. And yeah, I think I think it's quite a lot of activity going on around it that will be natural, natural tweeting where you'll pick it up,
Well, hopefully that they will be able to pick it up, because Twitter just seems to be absolutely incredible with getting information out there and hopefully giving the right information, of course, as well. It's a fully booked event also. Is there any maybe plans to expand it possibly in the future? Is it even possible to expand the field at all?
Natalie, I don't think so. We're not sure. It's interesting one, because we're moving this roadshow and we just don't want to spoil this experience for people that have paid money to come and ride. So there is a threshold where you say, well, how does it affect these guys? So we think we're pretty full in terms of where we've grown to, but it does sort of rest on what happens next week. We've got to see, we've got to find out and say, listen, guys, is this too big, too small? We're very chuffed. We're very chuffed to be in that position.
It's definitely a very good position to be in, a good headache to have, I would imagine. So you're going to be riding?
No.
Okay. So you've done your dry run. That's enough.
I'm done.
Now you're going to stand on the sidelines and watch everybody. Yeah. Okay. I probably would be doing the same thing as you, Craig. Thank you very much for joining us here on SAFM. I'm sure we'll hear more from you during the race and find out what's going on with the Joburg2c.
Great. Thanks, Natalie. Appreciate it.
Fantastic to have you here. It's Craig Wapnick, the race organizer of the Old Mutual Joburg2c, chatting to us about the race. It's a 9-day mountain bike race from Heidelberg to Scottsboro on the KZN coast, 910 kilometers off-road. What a fantastic event. 700 riders and 110 international participants from 20